You are
What up,
on.
my friend?
You are on with Eric and Denis.
Mr. Atheist to you.
I'm so glad that you called in
Right.
because I wanted to thank you so much. The clip show that you and EJ did was hilarious. I really did enjoy it. It really was fun. It allowed us to still have content out for people while we were out enjoying ourselves at the the convention. And dude, rock on.
Well,
thank you. So
I
much.
called to thank you for letting EJ and I take over the channel last week. It was a huge honor. And also congratulations on your panel and the live show and overall appearing at the American Atheist Convention. I think that was awesome. So congratulations and thank you for all of that. Yeah. I actually did, once I found out who the guest host was today, I went ahead and formulated a question specific, I think, to his expertise. Yeah, here we go. Now the pressure is on, Denis.
All right.
So, between video games, movies, books, etc., humans are now exposed more to fantasy worlds than ever. This also means we have more reference material to contrast the fantasy with reality. So do you think that in any way contributes to the growing number of non-believers who may now be more well-equipped to see the difference between fantasy and reality because of how much exists to contrast with?
I hadn't really thought of it that way before, but yeah, I have to agree. It's like one good fiction deserves another, right? And I remember growing up, and in school we watched, in school and in Illinois, we watched The Littlest Angel, right? It was I think it was a cartoon show or something like that. A movie told some story about little angel in heaven and stuff like that, and his little box of trophies of life, and if I'm remembering it right, yeah.
What the hell is The Littlest Angel?
It was a thing.
Is that
You'll
a thing?
have to look it up on Google, man.
That sounds terrible.
I'm sure it's up on Google. I'm sure it's up on YouTube somewhere. Everything is.
I'm checking that out like immediately. I'm sorry, go ahead though.
But I realized at that age that, all this God stuff is fiction. They have the cartoon show about it. How can it not be fiction, right? And it wasn't until I was in Boy Scouts and we were at a jamboree and they had us all in this area, and I found myself the only person standing upright in a sea of bowed heads, that I went, oh, they actually believe this stuff. Oh. That was a little bit alarming.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, my Australian friend, he's grown up secular his whole life, and he recently read the Bible, and the way he described it to me was, this is a lot like a poor man's Harry Potter.
Yes. Well, I
thought that was a really funny summary.
Yeah, my friend, I had a friend, Aaron Alston, who was a New York Times best-selling author of Star Wars novels and stuff.
Nice.
He pointed out that the Bible was very much written with fictional tropes. Very much handled like a novel, and he recognized, that writing's that kind of technique, things where you can, where a character is in the desert wrestling with himself, and there's no one there to write about it, yet someone's there writing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fiction.
If a prophet in the forest dies and no one's there to hear him, it really exists.
Yeah. So,
very
much fiction.
That actually takes me back. Did you want to say something else?
I was just going to say, the main reason I'm asking this is not that it's not awesome, but I think a lot of credit goes to science alone for the influx in secularism, the influx in atheism. But I'm here to make the claim that science has this beautiful partner called art, and that art now more than ever is contributing to secularism and atheism as well.
Yeah,
giving people more to contrast fantasy and such. So what were you going to say, Eric?
Absolutely. So I was actually going to relay a memory of mine that you guys just triggered.
Nice.
I remember when I was a Christian, I was in the bookstore. The church that I was in was getting really big and had its own gift shop bookstore. And I remember someone was at the front of the counter talking to the person behind the counter, and they were saying, "Oh, Harry Potter is just the devil, and the books are leading people away from God and towards Satan, and it actually has real magic spells that it's teaching children to say. It's teaching magic, real witchcraft and wizardry."
Right.
And I had innocuously picked up the book, and I had been reading it, and I very naively went up to the elder. By the way, this elder, this elder of the church is amazingly close to Hamish, by the way, in the way that he behaved. I said, "Well, that's not true. Most of these words are Latin-y sounding, but nothing happens when you say them." And he got so mad at me. He said, "How could you? You're inviting the devil into your body when you do this kind of stuff." And I turned, and right next to me on the bookshelf was the entire Chronicles of Narnia. And I looked at him and I said, these books have magic. And he goes, "No, but that doesn't count because it's an allegory for Christ." And
It doesn't count.
yeah, this fiction doesn't count that has magic, but this fiction that doesn't counts because I say it was so hard for me to reconcile. It was one of those things that just sat me back and I went,
Wait up.
wait a second. This is
funny,
weird.
Too, because if you talk to other fantasy authors, I've heard a lot of fantasy authors give interviews where they're like, "Yeah, we loved Harry Potter, but the way she came up with those spells was super lazy."
Yeah. You should listen to game designers talk about Quidditch. We go, "Oh my God, what the hell?"
Nice.
I have one more really quick question, and then you guys can get on to much more interesting callers than me.
Go ahead,
but
brother.
thank you again for letting us take over the show last week. This is my final question. Who would win in a fight between Matt's universe farting pixies and my universe pooping trolls?
Oh, it's all about the pixies.
That was just a joke.
No, it's all about the pixies.
Oh, the pixies.
Trolls.
You would side
Absolutely.
with Matt.
I would.
Trolls are powerful, though, man.
In one of my episodes, I also had universe producing Skittles, so we can throw them in the mix if you want.
Well, rock on. For those of you who haven't
Awesome.
checked out Mr. Atheist, check out Mr. Atheist on YouTube. He's got some good production quality. He's a nice guy. Check him out. Mr. Atheist, we'll talk to you later.
Good.
Yep. See you next time.
Take care, brother.